This is just a bit of a, it's not necessarily a review video of this season of Finding Bigfoot, as much as it's a bit of a, I mean, there'll be some review content, but it'll be more so just a bit of constructive criticism. So far, there have been 5 episodes in this season of Finding Bigfoot, and 3 of them I really liked. 3 of them I really liked. The first episode of the season, where they went to New York State and they examined the so-called baby Bigfoot footage, the footage that was taken in 1997. I thought that the assessments of Cliff and Renee were actually very good on that. Um, that was one of the episodes of this season that I actually liked. The second episode that I liked this season was the third one, where they went to Minnesota. I thought that was an enjoyable episode. Um, and then last night's, where they went to Ohio, went to Salt Fork State Park, I saw several people I happen to know, on that episode, such as Tim Stover and Scott Albaugh, and also Lorena Cunningham. I've only met her once. I met her at the 2010 Ohio Conference. Nice lady, though. I really enjoyed meeting her. But it was good to see that they actually got to Salt Fork State Park. I thought last night's episode was the best episode of the season. I didn't enjoy the Canada and Rhode Island episodes as much. I just didn't. It kind of owes to the hit and miss nature of the show. I think some episodes are better than others. Let's just put it that way. As far as constructive criticisms, I think that Cliff and Renee are really doing well as far as upping the scientific quotient of the show. I think that they are truly being analytical, and that they are really attempting to inject scientific reasoning into the show. Whereas Bobo and Matt just kind of, every sound they hear is a Sasquatch. Every strange sound that they can't identify as a Sasquatch. I don't go for that. Now, granted, they've had more time in the field than I have, but I think that strange. It's like what John Green said. Unidentified sounds are just that, unidentified sounds. And unidentified sounds aren't going to have much value. I mean, you can have all the recorded vocalizations and wood knocks. You can have all those, all the ones you want. They'll never be of all that much intrinsic value to science. And what's with calling Bigfoot Bigfoots, or more than one Bigfoot Bigfoots? Bigfoots. That sounds childish. I would prefer Sasquatches. Bigfoot as plural. Some have suggested Sasquatch is also plural, that more than one Sasquatch is a group of Sasquatch. I prefer Sasquatches. I think that's the more proper plural term. And no, Big Feet is not a good plural term for more than one Bigfoot either. But Bigfoots, no. I prefer to call them Sasquatches or just Bigfoot for more than one. Those are just 2 of the constructive criticisms I have about the show. And also, I thought last night that Matt didn't really treat Renee's skills with a lot of respect. I thought that it was rather unfortunate that Matt kind of downplayed Renee's skills in the field. when they found what was admittedly, to me, an ambiguous dent in a creek at Salt Fork State Park. Matt said it was the heel print of probably a squatch. Renee, on the other hand, said, I just don't see it. Renee was, I thought, very analytical and very scientific in that aspect. I mean, yes, she's the skeptic. She's the team skeptic. But I think she brings a lot of science into the equation. And I really think she does a great job of it. I think that Matt should be a little more objective, and I think that Matt should apply a little more science to it. I mean, after all, the BFRO claims itself as the only scientific organization studying the Bigfoot Sasquatch question. So I think that they should apply that. And I think that Renee and even Cliff, I mean, Cliff is very analytical in my opinion. I think he's very good at being more scientifically minded. I mean, Bobo's a good guy. I like Bobo, but Bobo, not every sound in the woods is Sasquatch. Not every strange sound in the woods is Sasquatch. It might turn out to be an owl. Might turn out, as far as these wood knocking, that's hard to explain, in my opinion. It's hard to explain because unless there are people pranking out there in the woods and hoaxing, which is a distinct possibility, unless you happen to be in a huge area where nobody knows where you are, nobody knows you're there. As far as the BFRO team, the Finding Bigfoot team, I think that Matt needs to use a little bit more objectivity. And not immediately say everything is Sasquatch related or everything is a squatch. It's a squatch. It's a squatch. No, not not all that glitters is gold. Just as not all that is strange in the forest is Sasquatch. And I hope that I'm not offending Matt or Bobo by saying all this. I'm just offering my constructive criticism. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm just observing. I'm just an observer. Matt, Bobo, don't take offense. This is just constructive criticism. I'm not saying that you guys are bad researchers. I'm just saying that not everything strange in the woods is Sasquatch. Like I said, the wood knocks, I have a hard time explaining. Unless there's somebody hoaxing. Somebody pranking. The vocalizations, there are some vocalizations that I've heard, and I've also heard recordings of, that I don't really have a rational explanation for. Like, let's see, Scott Albaugh played one on Finding Bigfoot last night, which sounded like a T-Rex. And boy, you talk about a weird noise that really defies explanation. It defies description. I just I think that there should be a little more science injected into the show and a little bit more objectivity. It's not a bad show. I like Finding Bigfoot just fine. Just that there are things that I think could be done that are a little more less childish sounding and a little more scientific. I mean, calling Bigfoot Bigfoots, calling more than one Bigfoot Bigfoots is, I don't call them Bigfoots. But this is just a constructive criticism. That's all it is. I'm not trying to bash anybody. I'm not trying to badmouth anybody. I'm just offering my personal constructive criticism. And I hope it's taken to heart. And I hope it's not thought to be offensive, that I'm not offending somebody, because that's not my goal at all. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I just want there to be a little more objectivity and scientific analysis put into what I see on Finding Bigfoot. That's all I'm asking. I mean, overall, this season has actually been a little bit better than last season. But I do want to see a little more scientific. And I love Renee's scientific mind, and I love Cliff's scientific mind. I think Bobo has a good scientific mind as well, but he sometimes gets carried away. Matt sometimes gets carried away. So let's watch it, guys. Anyway, that's just my constructive criticism. Take it for what it's worth.